Welcome back to Paradise Killer. Wah. So, in order to finish up this game and solve the final crimes, we have to go back upstairs. So that's what we're going to do today. But I think we're going to try and pick up loot on the way. The lines stop and start, geometric, crisscrossing the air, but not everywhere. I've had a visit from the marshals. They're on to me. I bet it was that guy next door. All he ever does is feed us fish and gossip. Get a life. We already know the guy from next door. He was a ghost. He was hiding the upgrade we needed in his locker. That guy was, in fact, very annoying. Because, it's a side quest with a mission-critical element here. So to get back upstairs, we just basically need any way to climb back on top of the cliffs, and this should do, if I remember correctly. Up we go. Yeah, there it is. That's good. Now, just up, 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 and up. Here we are at the overlook. How did I miss Shinji? Oh, have I never been here?
Got it.
So here's Shinji explaining that we're going to be actually killing anyone we find guilty. And this is important because there are people who are guilty that are our friends, and we may not want to actually reveal that they're guilty. Yeah.
I don't like this. Don't test me.
So, I don't know whether or not I found these clues before, but basically they just reveal that Lydia... Okay, so this is the first time I've seen them. Lydia did the things we know she did. She came up here and she figured out how to get through the second barrier, and that's what this is all about. Here are her sketches about it.
Got it. That's strange.
Now this is a little bit confusing to me because I discovered these pretty quickly, and I was trying to figure out what secret she could have seen from up here, but the fact of the matter is there is no secret she could have seen from up here. You have to hack that computer and then see it from down there. Now, eventually you find out she hacked the computer remotely, so I'm not sure why she'd bother, but she could see the same things we saw from down there, she could see them from up here. There are two major things we need from up. One of the major things we need from up is the big second conspiracy, which we're probably not going to get to today. The other thing we need from up is the top of the guard's facility. So that's probably where we're going to want to go. We could go to either one, but I think that it makes more sense to unravel the guard's barracks first. We also do need to go upstairs and talk to a ghost for a little bit. But I think that that would be best done between episodes. I can just like spawn in next to a ghost and that can be that. So down there you can see there's like some flaring red and some flags and stuff. That's where we need to be, but I don't think we can get there from here. And actually I'm not actually 100% sure that's where we need to be. It looks like where we need to be, but I don't have the exact location memorized. It could just be a very similar visual from another roof. We'll know very soon because it's easy to get to once we actually reach the main plateau up here. Here it is, where we started the game. Big purple building and all. And where we're going is right down here. And then we go up. And this is the part of the game that I had a really hard time with. Because I thought that this was where we needed to go. I was like, okay, well clearly I need to sneak in through the roof. Here's the roof. Where's the sneaky bit? But the truth is that this is not the roof. This is just a random roof in the place where the roof should be. This is the roof. And it's quite challenging to get to. It's not like, oh, obviously you jump from here to there to here to there. No, you have to like really understand that you need to get up here and walk around this weird way. I don't know. I feel like I'm misunderstanding it. There has to be something that I'm, failing to perceive. I don't know. But there's where we're headed. Just do a quick little check because I don't want to have to come back up here if I've forgotten something. Now that all the guards are outside and distracted, we can try and crack this place. It requires pyramids and cosmos, and I think it's the only one that does. Usually it's goat and cosmos and pyramids and worship. It's very rare to have cosmos and pyramids. At least I don't remember it being common. Oh, what the heck? Oh, did I not actually finish it with the pyramids? I'm sorry. I got started and then forgot the middle part. It happens. No, that's not it. Stop. There it is. Now we can move on to the cosmos. Now back to the pyramids. Now back to the cosmos. There we are. And now we're headed into the secrets of Akiko. Unfortunately for us, the secrets of Akiko are basically all solved. There's not really any secrets left. It's pretty cut and dry. But there is a nice building to explore, and that means a lot to me, because that's why I'm here. This building is fairly confusing if this is your first time, because you're probably trying to find loot and stuff to do, and it's there's not really very much loot here. It's mostly just to hack this one terminal and see one more thing downstairs. So here we've got Goat and Cosmos, which you're definitely going to have if you manage to get in the first place, since that would be Cosmos and Pyramids, and you start with Goat. So you can definitely hack this if you can get inside in the first place. Whether that is good or bad, who knows? There we go. And now we can look inside this door. And then inside this door. Is there another door inside this door? Yes! Okay, so let's talk about the server room. What did that say? An encrypted file in a suspicious-looking folder that is outside of the main Marshall files. Starlight can crack the security on it. It's going to prompt us to crack the security on it after we're done. And here's where we find out that the two people that were killed were just two prisoners, not the actual guards that she said they were. We already kind of knew that, but this is like proof. And that'll be good for the judge.
Sorry.
It's a photo of a strangled woman. Why would that be outside of the normal servers?
Got it.
Oh my, Grace Bloodline's examination, which is why I came here before going upstairs to talk to the ghost, because the ghost is Grace Bloodline's. Now, that flashed by pretty quick, but you may have noticed that there was a gap on one of the fingers. I wonder why Akiko would have removed the prisoners. If you've gotten this far, you probably should have figured out by now exactly why Akiko removed those prisoners. I'm not sure that it's a secret worth pretending that the player can't figure out. Even people who are not very good at detective games will have been told several times by now that the people in the people that were killed were not actually guards and were just random dudes. Boom. This sort of thing it has a value. So in a detective game, knowing what's going to happen, knowing what happened rather, and collecting hard evidence about it is one kind of play. By the way, the first time you're in this, you might feel nervous that you might get caught or something. It is impossible, but it does add some tension. So I think that some people probably approach this like, oh my gosh, I better make sure I'm not caught. Anyway, I was trying to say that there's a couple of different modes you can be in, and one of those modes is collecting the hard evidence that backs up something you know is true. In that mode, you're supposed to feel a kind of glee, like, oh, I've got this in the bag. I'm gonna definitely nail these guys. I'm on my straightaway. I'm coming in for landing. That sort of thing. That's a hard thing to remember to do, and they don't remember to do it in this game. If you're picking up evidence for something that you already know, it needs to feel like you are a chess master. You're cementing things. You're dominating the situation. And that's just something you have to remember to program in. It's very easy to do it if you remember to do it, but if you don't, yeah, you're not going to get that nice feel. The problem is, I think a lot of the people don't really structure their gameplay. I bet you're all sick about that because I was spinning around all the time. Sorry. I'm sick because I was talking while spinning in circles. Let me just let my eyes stop spinning for a second here. Right, so the problem here is that I think a lot of people don't understand whether the player will know something at a specific time. Like, if we come in here, will the player already know about the 2 guards? It's hard to say, but you should be able to detect that if you know what you're doing. So, if the player already knows that the 2 guards were faked, then finding evidence in here, it should feel like a mission to cement things. You're intruding, you're finding deep secrets, and you know what happened, and now it's time to really nail him to the wall. But if you didn't know, if you didn't discover that those 2 guards were fakes, and you came in here clueless, then you've got the opposite situation, which is you have evidence and you need to figure out what it means. And those 2 situations couldn't be farther apart in terms of how they feel as a detective in a video game. And I just want to make it clear that if you're trying to make a detective video game, then you need to be sure to sort of understand where the player is. And that can be quite challenging because some players are faster than others. However, if you're doing a game like this, there is, a strong guiding light. If the player has discovered a clue, then you've already explained the clue to them. They don't need to figure it out. They figured it out by finding it in the first place. It's not a mystery in the sense of the player putting together the pieces. So this is the goddess statue, New Night. This is the only place New Night is on the island, and this is how we know that our red herring came here, because he saw New Night.
Sure. That's strange. Got it.
There you go. So, as I was saying, in a game like this, it's not about the player being smart. It's about the player collecting evidence. It's like the RPG setup, right? If you're playing an action game, then how good you are at the action game matters. But if you're playing an RPG, it's mostly about whether or not you've ground the levels you need to beat the game. It's the same situation here. It's not a detective game in the sense of you being smart and unraveling things. It's more like a detective RPG, where it's all about whether or not you've actually explored the area well enough to have the pieces to the puzzle. Once you get the pieces, the game will actively explain to you what those clues mean, and you'll know where the player is. So by simply keeping track of which clues the player has uncovered, you know whether or not they are tracking down evidence to support their ideas, or whether or not they are trying to figure out what's going on. You can tell because you don't leave any of that up to how smart they are. You literally just code it in, because every time they discover a clue, you explain the clue in full. That's not a bad way to do things, but it is a way that can be exploited much more aggressively than this game does. And I kind of want to make a game that does that, but it would be a game, and I'd have to make it, and that would be work. So here is the front exit. We can't get out this way, but we've been here. On the other side of this door is the entrance that we had to climb on top of to get in here in the first place. And this is really it. I mean, there's nothing else in here. I don't even think there's any more, like, loot. Let's just do a quick little check. I mean, there's lots of hearts, but none of them are in here. They're all outside. There's a couple that we missed on the roof, but we have to exit through the roof anyway, so we might as well do that. So I think this is a good place to end it. What we're going to do is I'm going to kill it here, and then I'll meet you again up near a ghost. Oh, motion sickness. Ah.